restoring Illinois to greatness. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute and hosted by AM 560's Dan Proft.
Welcome back to Illinois Rising. I'm Pat Hughes of the Illinois Opportunity Project. Joining me today is Illinois Policy Institute's Vice President of Policy, Michael Lucci. And Mike, we talked earlier in the program about the credit downgrade for the city of Chicago. Then we talked about how the public school system is out on strike and everybody's within the system and the CTU is suing each other. And by the way, nobody is getting educated. And oh, surprise, surprise, people are deciding to leave Chicago and Cook County. You recently did a piece on this. Why are they leaving? Where are they going? And what can be done to bring them back?
Well, we're a nation of immigrants here, so we are all instinctually people who know you go where opportunity exists. And people are not finding that opportunity in Chicago. Chicago lost 80,000 people on net to other parts of the country because people are voting with their feet and saying, I find more opportunity in places outside of Chicago rather than inside of Chicago. And another interesting report came out. This is a little bit of a shocker. Chicago is losing more millionaires than all of Russia. In the year 2015, Chicago lost 3,000 millionaires who picked up and left for another part of the United States. And Russia lost fewer than that. Russia only lost 2,000 millionaires. And you would think that they would be more under stress in Russia, where you have basically a dictator. But it's in Chicago where the millionaires are saying even more so, we got to get out because this city isn't working.
Yeah, and explain to the listeners, because I think, particularly on the left, there's sort of this knee-jerk reaction that, well, a millionaire is a bad person. But a millionaire is an investor, a millionaire is a job creator. Explain to the folks a little bit why that outmigration of people that have that capacity as taxpayers, as economic building blocks, how that impacts the city and the state when they leave.
Well, 30 to 40% of millionaires are actually small business owners. So when they leave, it's not just that taxpayer, it's that business, those jobs, all leaving the city of Chicago and oftentimes the state of Illinois. These are also people who are going to be able to invest when times are tough. You need people with a lot of money that are willing to take a risk when things get tough in a city or in a state. Chicago and Illinois need more of those people to invest when times get tough because times are getting tough here. But what they would need to see is for policies to change so we could have a reasonable future that they could believe in, that they could invest in. And until you see policies that would guide us to a future that they would want to invest in, they're not going to do it. They're going to continue voting with their feet and being very mobile and going to states that treat them better.
Yeah, and these other states and these other cities are treating them better and wooing them, saying, come here. This is a great quality of life. I grew up in Chicago, and I've lived more than half of my life in the city and then the rest of it just outside of it. And it is a remarkable, world-class, beautiful city with really hardworking people, with innovative people, with every sort of economic opportunity to have and make a life here, a really, really great life. And the fact that all those things are in place and people still leave, particularly in droves, and these millionaires leave in droves, tells me that the differential is strictly policy, that if we had better policies, more economic-friendly policies, more job-creating friendly policies, that people would stay. Don't the powers that be, and I know the governor recognizes this, but on the left, the mayor of the city of Chicago, the person who runs Forrest Claypool at CPS, Michael Madigan, who is in charge of the state ostensibly from the Democratic side, don't they see this, or do they just not care?
They have to see it. I think that at some point you have to say they don't care. I think one of the best statements made on this situation was, one of the reasons millionaires cited in leaving Chicago is they said that the violence is creeping up, racial tensions are creeping up. That was something they were concerned about. And some folks on the South Side were interviewed, and they said, what's the problem with all the violence? And some of the folks said, you know what? The best solution to a bullet is a job. The best protection against more bullets is more jobs. And that is absolutely the case for communities in Chicago that are having a tough time. What they need are jobs, and what they are not getting from the people who've been running the state for a long time is an agenda that would lead to job creation. I think that's the root of the problem that we're seeing here.
Yeah, and the largest problem that we have is we need leaders who are willing to stand up in the General Assembly, statewide, in the city, wherever, and change the nature of this so that people can live prosperous lives and stay in the city.